Ed, I want to start with you. Obviously, the volume here is just insane. Walk us through the biggest slides and the biggest comebacks of the day.
Yeah, so the biggest move in terms of volatility was Bitcoin, a drop of in excess of 30%, a rebound in excess of 30%. And in that rebound, what we saw is basically the cult of celebrity and big name investors coming out in force. With every tweet, every public appearance, there seemed to be confidence coming back into Bitcoin. It was really interesting because if you look at other cryptocurrencies that were also declining, they didn't experience the same rebound that Bitcoin did. And the other thing to note is that this was a kind of off-day risk assets moving in correlation with Bitcoin, which is something that's been really hard to understand in recent months. We had a pretty heavy drop at the equity market open, and then a drop later on the day, which was closely tied to Fed minutes. But in other words, investors looking at cryptocurrencies, as your guests pointed out in that sequence of comments there, a lot going on in terms of the commentary, some of it Elon Musk, but also China, the People's Bank of China, the central bank, saying institutions should not allow cryptocurrencies as legitimate forms of payment.
Right. The PBOC, though, reiterating a comment it's made previously, there was nothing necessarily new there. I mean, Joe, if there's one reason you could pinpoint for today's sell-off, is there one, or is there just a lot of things?
No, I think people should always be skeptical when it comes to crypto of telling too neat of a story between some news event and some move. I mean, first of all, this is crypto, so we have times like this all the time, and these drawdowns are really large, and this was a large one by crypto standards, but it was hardly an unprecedented one, or even one that really will stand out that much in history. You see that chart there? The chart's been kind of weak. I think it's lost momentum. It was even below where it was back in February. It's been going sideways for a few months. You saw the rise of altcoins, and people in this space, a lot of them are adrenaline junkies, they're volatility junkies, people looking for their fix elsewhere on the further reaches of the crypto spectrum. And so, you saw so much hype in the last few days. I mean, I was sort of transfixed by Dave Portnoy saying he was going to get into a coin, and he said if it's a Ponzi scheme, he wants to get in on the ground floor. When that is the mentality, when there's that much just sort of pure nihilistic speculating and gambling, eventually you're going to have bust-ups. And when you have this fast of a run-up, you have people sitting on real money. There's people who've made real money, life-changing money on Dogecoin. And eventually, if you're sitting on life-changing amounts of money in Dogecoin, you're like, maybe I should sell a little bit. And then you get days like this.
It's interesting as well to look at investor psychology towards other asset classes, right, Joe? See Tesla stock under real pressure, its lowest level now since November. And, a lot of that was around the data we got from China. New car registrations for Tesla in China really slowed down in April. But there's clearly some attention as well on Tesla's Bitcoin holdings and what Elon Musk and master of coins at Kirkhorn are or are not doing. You see there on your screen, Elon Musk took to Twitter. Tesla has diamond hands. In other words, that's the meme stock, Twitter, online chat for holding on to a particular asset class, in this case, cryptocurrency. And, that's the other thing that we're trying to deduce.
Joe, I got to ask you, I mean, you called Elon Musk the shoe shine kid in your column today, and I would love for you to elaborate on that metaphor.
Well, in traditional markets, the way it works is big-time investors on Wall Street trade something and it filters out, and suddenly when the shoeshine boy is talking about it, that's seen as a top. Crypto started with someone who's anonymous. It got hot on Reddit and other places. And then you had the richest man in the entire world at the time, now third, sort of wrap his identity in Bitcoin back in February. And so in a way, it really has gone in the opposite direction. You could make an argument that by the time Wall Street, every day some new bank is rolling out some new product to offer Bitcoin exposure to its clients, that maybe in a crypto world, that's the proverbial shoeshine boy.